the reign of thunder and fire at the Houston Stadium as Germany opens their first match in this year's tournament against Curacao. No mercy at all from the German side in this game. When you look at the fixture before the game, you would expect a scoreline like this. But when you take a critical look at the Curacao team and you realize that most of their players play in Netherlands, most of their players play in Switzerland, most of their players are in Europe, you would think that they will give Germany some level of a contest, and that was not exactly the same thing that happened on the pitch. Germany started off on a very, very strong foot. They knew that Curacao was going to bank getting any result from this game from their defense, and thus they came in all fiery. Every 2 chances that they get, every single an inch of a space that they were able to create, they were having a shot at the goalkeeper, wanted to get the first break. And yes, that's exactly what they got. 6 minutes down the line, and already there was a goal at the back of the net. Mecha putting in this goal and settling nerves for Germans early on in the first half. Now, it took 18 minutes for Curacao to be able to organize themselves and form an attack. And even with that, they were not able to make anything out of it. But yes, shortly after that, 3 minutes after that, on the 21st minute, a very good strike coupled with some level of deflection pulled them level in the game. And yes, after that, they were able to get some momentum. Curacao knew that they can be able to do something in the game, and so they went in firing. They went in strong. They were trying to win one-on-one duels. They were trying to create something. Still, it wasn't working. On the 38th minute, Schlotterbeck put another one at the back of the net to calm German nerves once more again. And shortly after that, Karl Havertz put in another one from the spot kick, putting Germany in cruise control in the first half. First half ended 3-1 to Germany, and they would go recoup and come back. Now, and Curacao will go recoup and come back. Now, right before the cooling break in the first half, you would see that Curacao were building momentum. They hadn't scored yet, but they were still building momentum. One thing about cooling break in this tournament is that it's going to sort of disrupt play sometimes, because in this game, Curacao seemed to be gaining momentum, and right after that, the cooling break came. Even though it didn't disturb them much when they did come back, but you could see that it disrupted the game flow to some extent. So that's one thing that the cooling break is bringing into this tournament. But in the second half, Germany did not come to rest or did not come to see the game out at all. Just a minute into the second half, they were on the score sheet again. Catching Curacao when they were all ball watching, nicely placed ball by Musiala into the back of the net and putting Germany 4-1 up. Curacao did pull one back, but it was ruled out for an offside. And shortly after that, Brown and Uzlov were able to also find the back of the net, ending the match in a 7-1 victory to Germany. Karl Havertz having a brace in this game. And one thing that the German coach is going to be happy about is that not just the fact that they scored a lot of goals, but they had many players on the score sheet. If you have a team that many people can score, it means that when things get tough, you can be able to count on almost everybody or anybody to come out with some magic. So it was a good thing. The last time that Germany scored this many goals in a single tournament, in a single game in a tournament, was in 2014 in Brazil, and they went ahead to win that tournament. So is it going to be the same here? Are they going to be the ones who will carry this tournament? Let me know in the comment section if you believe that the German team is strong enough to win this year's tournament. But to Curacao, even though it might seem right now that their whole tournament is over because the goal deficit is so much, they did come in. They did not mainly defend throughout the 90 minutes. They opened up sometimes. They tried to test how they can be able to break the German defense. Even though on the third half of the pitch, they seem to be lacking ideas. They seem to be lacking creativity in the third half of the pitch. They tried their best. They opened up the game sometimes. And yes, they were punished for it. But they gave it a go. And that's one beautiful thing that I like about this Curacao team. They try not to sit back too much. They try to, give their fans something. Not just take in the goals, because they know that even if they were going to lose, they also were going to try to find the back of the net as well. So their first ever World Cup, and yes, in their first ever match, they've been able to find a goal in the World Cup. It took Canada a couple of years to be able to do what Curacao has done just right now. And that's a beautiful thing to see. Yes, a very, very interesting thing to see. So we are looking at the second match in this group to be played. Things are beginning to shape up very well in this group. We would have a look at that when we're able to see the final result in the next game. We'll see that this group will be shaping up very, very well. Ecuador, Ivory Coast, both not an easy side. Ecuador can be a tough team to play against. So Ivory Coast have a big match at hand shortly after this. But 7-1 is the scoreline at the end of this game. I mean, Brazilians looking at this scoreline will be having PTSD, thinking back to when they got buried in a similar fashion in their own backyard. But all in all, a good game to watch. Only 4 days into the tournament, and we've had our biggest scoreline. Maybe we might never see this margin of a scoreline again, but we're happy to see it early on in the tournament. I go by the name Black. This is Kandy Sports, your number one joint when it comes to anything sports. We are ready to bring you live updates from this year's tournament. So as said, do subscribe and hit the notification bell because we'll be coming your way every single day. I go by the name Black, and bye for now.